The Israelites oppressed. These are the names of the sons of Israel who went to Egypt with Jacob, each with his family: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, and Benjamin, Dan, and Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. The descendants of Jacob numbered 70 in all. Joseph was already in Egypt. Now Joseph and all his brothers and all that generation died, but the Israelites were exceedingly fruitful. They multiplied greatly, increased in number, and became so numerous that the land was filled with them. Then a new king, to whom Joseph meant nothing, came to power in Egypt. Look, he said to his people, the Israelites have become far too numerous for us. Come, we must deal severely with them, or they will become even more numerous and it will break out. We'll join our enemies, fight against us, and leave the country. So they put slave master over them to oppress them with forced labor. And they built Pithom and Ramses and stored cities for Pharaoh. But the more they were oppressed, the more they multiplied and spread. So the Egyptians came to dread the Israelites and worked them ruthlessly. They made their life bitter with harsh labor in brick and mortar and with all kinds of work in the field. In all their harsh labor, and Egyptians worked them ruthlessly. The king of Egypt said to the Hebrew midwives, whose names were Shiphrah and Puah, when you are helping the Hebrew woman during childbirth on the delivery stool, if you see that the baby is a boy, kill him. But if it is a girl, let her live. The midwives, however, feared God and did not do what the king of Egypt had told them to do. They let the boys live. Then the king of Egypt summoned the midwives and asked them, why have you done this? Have you let the boys live? The midwives answered Pharaoh, Hebrew women were not like Egyptian women. They are virginous and give birth before the midwives arrive. So God was kind to the midwives, and the people increased and became even more numerous. And because the midwives feared God, He gave that families of their own. Then Pharaoh gave this order to all his people. Every Hebrew boy that is born you must throw into the Nile, but let every girl live. The verse of Moses. Now a man of the tribe of Levi married a Levite woman. And she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was fine child, she did him for 3 months. For when she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar and pitch, and she placed the child in it and put it among his reed along the bank of Nile. His sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Then Pharaoh's daughter went out to the Nile to bathe, and her attendants were walking along the river bank. She saw the basket among the reed and sent her female slave to get it. She opened it and saw the baby. He was crying, and she felt sorry for him. "This is one of the Hebrew baby," he said. Then his sister asked Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and get one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby for you?" "Yes, go," she answered. So the girl went and got a baby's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this baby and nurse him for me, and I will pay you." So the woman took a baby and nursed him. When the child grew older, she took him to Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She named him Moses, saying, "I drew him out of the water." Moses fled to Midian. One day, after Moses had grew up, he went out to where his own people were and watched them at their hard labor. He saw an Egyptian beating Hebrew, one of his own people, looking this way and that and seeing no one. He killed the Egyptians and hid him in the sand. The next day he went out and saw two Hebrews fighting. He asked one in the wrong, "Why are you hitting your fellow Hebrew?" The man said, "Who made you ruler and judge over us? Are you thinking of killing me as you killed the Egyptian?" The Moses was afraid and thought, "What I did must have become known." When Pharaoh heard of this, he tried to kill Moses, but Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in Midian, where he sat down by the well. Now a priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw water and fill to water their father's flock. Some shepherd came along and drove them away. But Moses got up and came to their rescue and watered their flock. When the girl returned to Leo, their father, he asked them, "Why have you returned so early today?" They answered, "An Egyptian rescued us from the shepherd. He even drew water for us and watered the brook. And where is he? Reuel asked his daughter. Why did you leave him? Invite him to have something to eat. Moses agreed to stay with the man who gave his daughter Zipporah to Moses in marriage. Zipporah gave birth to the son. The Moses named him Gershom, saying, I have become a foreigner in a foreign land. During that long period, the king of Egypt died, and the Israelites groaned in their slavery and cried out. And their cry for help because of their slavery went up to God. God heard their groaning, and he remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. So God looked on the Israelites and was concerned about them. Moses and burning bush. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness, and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. There the angel of the Lord appeared to him and flamed the fire from within him bush. Moses saw that though the bush was on the fire, it did not burn up. So Moses thought, I will go over and see this strange sight, why the bush does not burn up. When the Lord saw that he had gone over to look, God called to him from within the bush, Moses, Moses. And Moses said, Here I am. Do not come any closer. God said, Take off your sandal, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. Then he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and God of Jacob. At this, Moses hid his face, because he was afraid to look at God. The Lord said, I had indeed seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I have heard them crying out because they are slave driver. And I am concerned about their suffering, so I have come down to rescue them from the land of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey, the home of Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites. And now the cry of the Israelites has reached me, and I have seen the way the Egyptians are oppressing them. So now go, I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people the Israelites out of Egypt. But Moses said to God, Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt? And God said, I will be with you, and This will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain. Moses said to God, suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your father has sent me to you. And they asked me, what is his name? Then what shall I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. God also said to Moses, say to the Israelites, the Lord, God, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever. The name of the shall call me from generation to generation. Go assemble the elders of Israel and say to them, the Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, appeared to me and said, I have watched over you and have seen what has been done to you in Egypt. And I have promised to bring up you out of your misery in Egypt into the land of Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Perizzites, Hivites, and Jebusites, and land following the milk and honey. The elders of Israel will listen to you. Then you and the elders are to go to the king of Egypt and say to them, the Lord, the God of the Hebrew, has met us. Let us take 3-day journey with the wideness of the offer sacrifice to the Lord our God. But I know that the king of Egypt will not let you go unless Almighty hand compel him. So I will stretch out of the hand the strike of the Egyptian with all the wonders that I will perform among them. After that, he will let you go, and I will make the Egyptians favorably disposed toward his people, so that when you leave, you will not go empty-handed. Every woman is to ask her neighbor and any woman living in her house for article for silver and gold and the clothing which you will put on your sons and daughters, and so you will plunder the Egyptians. Signs for Moses. Moses answered, what if they do not believe me or listen to me, and say, the Lord did not appear to you? Then the Lord said to him, what is that in your hand? A staff, he replied. The Lord said, throw it on the ground. Moses threw it the ground, and it became a snake, and he ran from it. Then the Lord said to him, reach out your hand and take it by the tail. So Moses reached out the took hand of the snake, and it turned back into staff his hand. This said the Lord, this is so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, he appeared to you. Then the Lord said, put your hand inside the cloak. So Moses put his hand into the cloak, and when he took it out, the skin was refused. It had become as white as snow. Wow! Now put it back into your cloak, he said. So Moses put his hand back into his cloak, and when he took it out, it was restored like the rest in his place. Then the Lord said, if they do not believe you or pay attention to the first sign, then may believe the second. But if they do not believe these two signs or listen to you, take some water to the Nile and pour it the dry ground. The water overtake from the river will become blood on the ground. Moses said to Lord, pardon your servant, Lord. I have never been inclined, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue. The Lord said to him, who gave human beings their mouths? To who make them deaf of mute? Who give them sight or make them blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go, I will have you speak, will teach you what to say. But Moses said, pardon your servant, Lord, please send someone else. Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, what about your brother Aaron, the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and he will be glad to see you. You shall speak to him and put word in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as he were your mouth, and as if you were God to him. So take this step in your hand so you can perform the signs with it. Moses returns to Egypt. Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, let me return to my own people in Egypt to see if any of them are still alive. Jethro said, go and wish you well. Now the Lord had said to Moses in Midian, go back to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you are dead. So Moses took his wives and sons, put them on a donkey, and started back to Egypt. And he took the staff of God in his hand. And Lord said to Moses, when you return to Egypt, see that you perform before Pharaoh all the wonders I have given you the power to do. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go. They then say to Pharaoh that this is what the Lord says, Israel is my firstborn son. And I told you, let my son go, so he may worship me. But you refused to let him go. So I will kill your firstborn son. So a lodging place on the way the Lord met Moses and about and was about to kill him. But Zipporah took a flint knife, cut off her son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet within. Surely you are the bridegroom of blood to me. She said. So the Lord let him alone. At that time she said, bridegroom and blood, referring to circumcision. The Lord said to Aaron, go into wilderness to meet Moses. So he met Moses at the mountain of the God and kissed him. Then Moses told Aaron everything the Lord had sent him to say, and also about all the signs he had commanded him to perform. Moses and Aaron brought together all the elders of the Israelites, performed the sign before the people, and they believed. And when they heard that the Lord was concerned about them and had seen their misery, they bowed down and worshipped. Brick without stew. Afterward, Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, said. Let my people go so that they may hold a festival to me in the wilderness. Pharaoh said, who is the Lord, that I should obey him and let Israel go? I do not know the Lord, and I will not let Israel go. Then they said, the God of Hebrew, and met with us. Now let us take a 3-day journey into the wilderness to offer sacrifice to the Lord our God, or he may strike us with pestilence or with the sword. But the king of Egypt said, Moses and Aaron, why you are taking the people away from their labor? Get back to your work. Then Pharaoh said, look, the people of the land are now numerous, and you are stopping them from working. That same day Pharaoh gave this order to the slave drivers and overseers in charge of the people. You are so eager to supply the people with steel for making brick. Let them go and gather their own stew, but require them to make same number of bricks and before, but reduce the quota they are lazy. That is why then are crying out, let us go and sacrifice to our God, make the work harder for the people so that they keep working and pay no attention to rise. Then the slave drivers and the overseers went out and said to the people, this is what Pharaoh says, I will not give you anyone more stew. Go and get your own stew, whatever you can find it. But your work will not be reduced at all. So the people scattered all over Egypt to gather steward to use the stew. The slave drivers kept processing them and saying, complete the work required of you each day, just as them saying, complete the woman required of the for each day, just as when you had through. And Pharaoh's slave drivers fed the Israelites. Overseas, they had appointed, demanding, what haven't you met you quota of brick yesterday or today as before? Then the Israelites overseas went and appealed to Pharaoh. Why have you treated your servant this way? Your servants are given no stew. Yet we are told, make brick. You servants are being beaten, but the fault is your own people. Pharaoh said, lazy. That is what you are, lazy. That is why you keep saying, let us go and sacrifice to the Lord. That was a good you, and you will not given stew. You will not given any stew, right? Yet you must produce your full quota of bricks. The Israelites overseas realized that were in trouble, and they were told, you are not reduced the number of bricks required of you for each day. When they left Pharaoh, they found Moses and Aaron waiting to meet them, and they said, may the Lord look your and judge you. You have made an obeisance to Pharaoh and his officials, and have put the sword in their hands to kill us.